perspective, we view the Philippines in sort of four key regions: Luzon and Mindoro in the north, Palawan and Tuba-Tahar in the southwest. There's the sort of Cebu and Visayas in the center, and then Mindanao down in the south. There are two predominant seasons. The dry season really generally runs from November to May. There is the opportunity for slight variation, just, with the likes of El Niños and things going on. But generally, November to May is the dry season. This is when there's really nice kind of warm daytime temperatures and slightly cooler evenings. It's when there's less rain, more sort of sunny skies, and kind of when dive conditions are seen to be ideal. The water temperatures are slightly cooler, which is good because a lot of the critters especially sort of seem to come up from the depths a bit more when the water's cooler. So they're kind of coming into more recreational diving depths. So you're seeing more biodiversity at that time of year. So with that cooler water, obviously if you are diving a lot in the day or on a liveaboard racking up the dives, we would recommend a slightly thicker wetsuit. March to May is probably considered the peak time, being the hottest and driest time of the year. So it is sort of peak season from a tourism perspective. So always good to book in advance. And yeah, we're here to help with that. On the other side, the wet season runs from June to October. It is a tropical country, so it doesn't mean it's just raining all the time. It's usually short, kind of intense showers. There may be periods where you have a few days strung together, but that's usually unlikely. Water temperatures are a lot warmer at this time of year, which is nice on the one hand, but on the other, that's what leads to a lot more rain. And that can lead to the sort of compression of some of the kind of unique critters heading a bit deeper and away from recreational diving depths. It is a lot quieter in general, kind of considered the low tourist season. So dive sites will be more empty. Prices will be a bit lower as well. So there's still a lot of good reason to head there in that time of year as well. The only other kind of key considerations with regards to the seasons in the Philippines, typhoons do head through the Philippines each year. Generally, August and September is when the more severe storms happen, although that does have some variation. It's not a kind of written in law kind of rule. In general, these typhoons kind of hit the east coast, usually sort of landing around the Visayas region, and then they'll curve north up through Luzon and then head up towards the likes of Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan. This does mean that the sort of southern regions of the Visayas and also the sort of region of Palawan down in the southwest, they usually don't get impacted too much by any typhoons that do come through. But again, nothing's written in stone with these sorts of things. And then finally, the main other consideration with the seasons is Tuba-Tahar Reef, which I've highlighted on this map. It's one of the top dive destinations in the Philippines, and you'll be hearing a lot about it over the rest of the webinar. But it's very isolated out in the middle of the Sulu Sea. And because of that, it's very sensitive to the sea conditions and boats being able to get out there safely. So the season for Tuba-Tahar is very short, generally running from March till June. And I would be always keen to advise people to be looking at March, April, May more than June, just as the season can end a little bit sooner than everyone has planned, and conditions can get a bit rough in June as well.